What is up, guys? A new month starts, so does a new special event. I hope you guys are excited for it, and if you are, drop a like so I can see your assignment as well. Usually I pick a genre or a topic, but this month it's another ball game because it is a special time. My brother's birthday is in this month, August, and it had to be all about him. So the 4 movies that are going to be a part of this month's special event are going to be picked by him. I asked him to pick a movie that he really likes, and he chose this one. By the by, I'm the movie guy, and this is my review for Before I Disappear. Richie is a lonely guy. His girlfriend Vista has passed away, and he has tried everything to feel wholesome again, but to no avail. He finds a dead girl in a stall at one of his jobs, and she reminds him of Vista. He can't take it anymore, so he decides to kill himself. He gets interrupted from his attempt by his sister, who calls him to ask Richie to take care of her daughter, Richie's niece, for a couple of hours. He accepts. Sophia, the niece, doesn't seem very interested in her uncle, but that might change after spending some hours together. Things also get interesting with the dead girl from the stall, as her boyfriend is desperate to get a hold of her, and he senses that Richie, who is also working for him as well, knows something about this. The plot in this movie is heartbreaking. This is my 3rd watch of this movie and I'm still amazed at it. Richie is depressed, he's all alone, he wants to die. The last thing that he has to do in this world is look after his niece for a bit. Getting to know her might be just what he needs to feel better about himself, especially after noticing the similarities between them, cause they do share a couple. The bonding between Richie and Sophia circle 2 interesting plots. First, there is the mystery behind Sophia's mother's disappearance. We find out that she's in jail after about 30 minutes, but why? It was intriguing. And the second plot was centered around the dead girl from the stall. Her death gets covered up and her boyfriend is desperate to find her. They're all really well worked, but they do lose some steam towards the end. The relationship between Richie and Sophia is superb. At first they don't get along. Sophia was a little mean to Richie, but after he shows her his flip book of a character named Sophia dying over and over again, sort of like a Kenny in South Park, which he has made when he was young, she starts to get really interested in her uncle and his health. I love these kinds of movies, where someone has to take care of a child. The gender of the person doesn't really matter to me. Richie is a good guy. He had a drug problem after the death of Vista, but he let go of that because the drug stopped making him feel good. He keeps trying to write a goodbye letter, and in the end, despite not having the best relationship with his sister, he tries his best to help her by taking care of her daughter. Sophia is really smart. She plans to skip an entire grade, she does gymnastics, she learns Mandarin. However, she doesn't really have any friends, and the arrival of Richie means that she has another friend alongside her mother. It's time for me to drop some knowledge, guys. Throughout the movie, Richie has hallucination of his girlfriend Vista. Vista in Spanish and Portuguese means vision. This movie is a remake of a short film named Curfew, also written and directed by the director of this movie, Sean Christensen. And Paul Wesley starred in this movie, and he filmed his scenes when he was on a break from the Vampire Diaries. He managed to get the movie 10,000 followers on Instagram after he gave this movie a shout out. Sean Christensen is the director and the lead of the movie Richie. His performance was fine, but I did think that he was a bit too whiny in some occasions. Aside from that, he was really good. I was a bit more impressed by Fatima, that chick, I hope I pronounced that correctly. She plays Sophia. She was 14 years old when she made this movie, and her career looked impressive after this movie. Ron Perlman plays in this one as well. You know what to expect from him. He was solid as usual. For my favorite scene, I choose the psychedelic sequence. Richie takes a handful of sleeping pills and he starts hallucinating that someone calls him and asks Richie to bring him the money that he owes. Richie tells him that he's going to die tonight, so he won't receive the money. Then the person tells him that he's already in Richie's building, so he won't die fast enough. Richie panics, he goes out into the hallway of the building where there was a party, he steals a mask, a bow, and an arrow, and waits at the elevator to shoot the guy that called him, but out of the elevator comes only Vista. All of this happens as 5 years from Davey Boy plays in the background. It was a great scene. It's not a perfect movie, it does have some flaws, despite the plot's losing steam towards the end and a really bad brawl scene. This movie is fantastic. Even these problems don't ruin the experience. For my alternative pick, another great movie where a man has to protect a little girl, and it's also a superhero film, is Logan. And that's really, really good. So, my rating for Before I Disappear is 4.5 stars.